Last summer, protesters fighting for racial equality were injured by Austin police using force during demonstrations. 6 months later, injured protesters say they are still waiting for justice. Here to talk about this is Nick Hudson with the ACLU of Texas. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So back in July, the Austin Police Department said it would not release video of protest-related use of force, citing the potential impact on the integrity of ongoing investigations. APD says they're still withholding that video because the Travis County DA's office has not made a determination in those cases. What do you make of the reasoning and the role of the DA's office, what it's played in this delay?
Well, let's be really clear. There's no good reason to hide these videos from public view any longer, and it's up to the police chief to release them. Austin's police chief could release these videos 5 months ago, and he's choosing not to. Our view is that if you hide these videos away, you defeat transparency. And when police chiefs choose which videos they release and which they're not going to release, body cameras go from being a really important tool for transparency and accountability to being a tool for propaganda. And the bigger problem in this case, that this case raises, though, is that the way law enforcement in Texas is regulated is largely ineffective, including when it comes to body camera release policies. And so we're looking to lawmakers this session to seize the momentum behind improving policing in Texas by passing laws like the George Floyd Act.
What information are you or have you been able to get from APD and from the DA's office? Are they talking?
Well, the APD has really stonewalled and blocked the release of these videos. I was in touch with the district attorney's office today. It's a brand new DA's office. They've been in office for less than 2 weeks. And I think the really important thing to keep in mind is that it is not the role of the DA to make a decision or determination about whether video should be released in these cases. It doesn't make sense what the police department is saying. Police departments often use kind of local rules and loopholes to block or delay release of videos, not because it would harm investigations, as they're saying, but because it makes them look bad. And this is not how things are supposed to work. The police chief could have released the video 5 months ago, and he should do it.
How long does it normally take to present use of force cases to a grand jury?
Every case is different, but when you have video, it often goes much more quickly. We have seen a range of times that it takes to take these sorts of cases to grand juries. I'm a little surprised, to be perfectly honest, that this has taken so long. We have seen a transition from one district attorney to the next with the intervening election. There's a new DA on the job, and every indication is that they will be focused on transparency and accountability in law enforcement. And I look forward to seeing what they do.
Amid protests last June, the ACLU of Texas urged cities to hold officers accountable if they violated the law. What should that accountability look like?
Well, I think it starts with making sure that in Texas, when officers are fired for misconduct or punished for misconduct, that it actually sticks. I mean, one of the things that a kind of scathing state report on law enforcement pointed out is that we have a really toothless system for holding law enforcement officers accountable in the state of Texas. I think it can mean firing bad officers, and that's really hard to do. We are allowing officers who've been fired or resign while under investigation to bounce from community to community while still being able to wield their power over others. So one of the really important things that we need to see happen this session is see some teeth added to the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement and passage of the George Floyd Act. Those will be real meaningful measures that will improve accountability and ensure bad officers can be fired.
All right. Nick Hudson with the ACLU of Texas. Thank you so much for sharing your time and perspective with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.